York. Alright, he got some good stuff to tell y'all today. So give it up, please. All the way from New York, Brother Serville. And I want to say something while he's taking his time. Brother Serville and National Tahuti brothers, they came down here for nothing. So we have to appreciate that. So since it's a few of us, I want to pass around the love basket so we can show them that we appreciate them coming down here for absolutely nothing. I mean, that's real scholarship right there. That's warrior scholarship. So you got to respect that. So give them a round of applause and we're going to pass the bucket.
Give them what you give to the Lord.
Yes, sir.
Peace and black power. The first thing that I would like to say, man, I'm really appreciative of the House of Consciousness and Virginia for inviting me and my brother down here. This is something that we've been looking forward to. My brother was here, not in this part of Virginia, but he was at the University of Virginia State, man. You know what I'm saying? He came down here and did a lecture. And it was a real powerful lecture. Today I'm going to talk about something that a lot of people don't realize or don't look at. And we must pay attention to this particular, mentality. I was in this young lady's house where I'm staying at, me and my brother, and I ran across this book. See what it says?
Still a slave.
Yes. A lot of us are still in this condition, and we don't even realize it. We don't really understand how we're still slaves. If we look around America, we can look at the behavior of black people, the things that are going on in our communities. With all of these murders, and most of the murders are done by young kids who are killing one another. And what we have to look at is that the reason why this is going on, because there's no love in that household where all of this pain is coming out of. Inside the household of black America is a lot of hatred, a lot of confusion. And this is causing it to overflow into the community. We must understand that we have went through a trimestic period when we were slaves. And some of us still have that mentality where Willie Lynch caused the separation from the black man and the black woman. This was by design. He placed the light-skinned one against the dark-skinned one, the old against the young. This is going on as we speak. We have to understand that we watched our mothers get torn away from us, our fathers being torn away from us. You know what I'm saying? We actually watched it and experienced this, and this went inside our spirits and our souls, man. This is still going on today. I don't know what they call it in Virginia, man, when, say if a mother has a problem with her children and the people just come in and snatch the children away. That's the same, well, in New York they call it BCW, Child Protective Service. You hear what I'm saying to you? And the same thing went on back then, where they came into the household and just took the children, you know what I'm saying, and they never seen them again. And this is what's going on in our community today. We have a lot of psychological problems that we're not really looking at. A lot of us are sick people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are coming from crack-invested parents, alcoholics, and things of this nature. You feel me? And I'm not, what I'm saying is this. In order to have a relationship with a woman, in order for a woman to have a relationship with a man, she has to understand exactly who she is as a person. You know what I'm saying? She has to understand who I am as a person. That man right there sitting next to that young lady has to understand the value of that woman in order for him to respect her. She has to understand the value of that man in order for, her to respect him. And what we have lost the respect for each other. You know what I'm saying? When we see a woman walking down the street, we don't see anything but a big, excuse me, for the children, a big vagina. That's all we see. We don't see the value in that woman. We don't see the value in that man. All we're looking at is private parts. But we've been broken down to a savage mentality. That's where we at. And we don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? We are thinking like savages. And this European Caucasian doesn't care anything about us. He never has. You feel what I'm saying? He don't have to shoot us down and kill us now because we're doing it to ourselves. You know, and it's very important, man, for that self-love to come back. You got to learn how to eat proper foods. Because the foods are killing us. What we put in our bodies. You know what I'm saying? And then we teaching our children to act the same way we act. We have to be examples for our children. They are watching our every movement. Children are very intelligent. They're not stupid. Everything you do, when you think your children not watching you, they're watching you. Yet still you be disciplining them, telling them not to do this, but then they're watching you on the side and see you, the same thing you say not to do, they see you do it. So how are you being a parent and setting the example? You're not setting any example because I'm looking at you and you're a liar. But yet still you're supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, my parent. Somebody's supposed to be guiding me, teaching me. And most households don't have men in them. These women are raising these children by themselves. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I must talk to the men, man. Listen, we have to be more responsible. But I understand it because a lot of times you haven't been taught what a man is. You hear what I just said?
That's right. I heard.
You haven't been taught what a man is and what to be responsible is about. You know what I'm saying? Each individual has a role in the family unit. A woman has her role and a man has her role. What has happened was that the roles have been reversed. The woman is now the man and the man is now the woman. You understand? But this is by design, man. This was permeated to be put in that position so they can separate the two forces. We have to understand, man, that a lot of things that go on in our lives, we can corrupt them. Or we can clean them up. A lot of us used to be hustlers. A lot of us used to be pimps. A lot of us used to be stick-up kids, burglars. And we come into this so-called consciousness, and it's supposed to change who we were when we was doing those evil and bad things. But sometimes people get information and forget where they come from. They go to school and get doctor's degrees, associate's degrees, and all these different degrees, and all they do is become a quotologist. That's all they become. You know what I'm saying? They're quoting what the slave master gave them, you know what I'm saying, to say. And they forget that there's a mission in the street. I'm a street person. I'm in the street with the Crips and the Bloods and the Latin Kings and all those different individuals who are in the street killing themselves, man. That's where my war's at. That's where my battle's at. And I must bring the message to those in the street. And they ain't paying me no money. I ain't asking for no $1,000 to come in there and walk down the street and teach them what I got to teach. Because my duty as a civilized man is to teach civilization to those who don't know. That's my job. You have to pay me nothing. But if the ancestors want to bless me and give me a few dollars, maybe I can pay the bill or whatever, so be it. But it's not the reason why I'm in this struggle. I'm not in the struggle to get no money. I'm in the struggle to raise my people up.
Come on.
And to show them about respect one another. We have been through a whole lot of things, man, in this process, man. Me and my brother, for example, man, you know, when we first started talking about the black woman is God, we had threats. People telling us, yo, they're gonna kill us. Calling us faggots, homos. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, listen. There's a lot of people to this day that's very mad because we're trying to raise the black woman up. We're trying to put the black woman where she needs to be at. She's the teacher. Not us. See, be around them children, man, guiding them and giving them what they need. The only thing that I realize and understand is that I got a neighbor. I don't know nothing about no dirt ribs. I know I got a neighbor. And I know once this neighbor was connected to a woman. A womb. The universe is a womb. And we have to start reverencing this woman. My brother did a lot of studying. People talked about him. Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? He ain't never been no college. He ain't never been here. But listen, I want to explain to y'all, man, that he went against the best scholars around. You know what I'm saying? And defeated them. Wesley Muhammad. Ali Muhammad. Now these are supposed to be scholars. Individuals, man, where he, you know what I'm saying, he ain't finished high school. You know what I'm saying? But he just bugged them out, man. He went in there and went to war with them, man, and showed and proved if you do some self-studying that you can, you can excel, man, to the highest levels. You feel me? And the message is the black woman is God, and y'all men better start respecting these women. Start giving reverence, man. My brother's gonna come up here, and actually explain and break down the process of this force and power. And he's gonna show and prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that the black woman is God. And I have to give a shout out to my brother, Sanetta, who has the House of Consciousness in Harlem, New York, and where this place here is based off of. We have a reunion September the 16th in New York, and all y'all welcome to come out. You know what I'm saying? This is a reunion of the House of Consciousness. We're gonna have a lot of scholars there. It's gonna be, food and fun, and it's gonna be a powerful event. So make sure, if possible, that y'all come out to New York and Harlem and come to his event. With no further ado, my brother Natural Tahuti.
Yeah.
Black power.
Black power.
Black power.
Black power.
How y'all doing today?
Let me get that.
Y'all, I'm glad to be here. I really am. Real quick, I want to first and foremost, y'all know I'm holy and sanctified with the spirit of the Great Mother. Like those that worship Jesus, I worship the Great Mother. I really do. And so, I want to thank the sisters, first and foremost, for bringing me down here. Give them a round of applause. This has been a long time coming. I want to thank those brothers that know me, my man and my homie from off of Facebook. They represent and they support me 100%. And y'all, I never met. I'm glad to meet you now. I'm glad that you're here and to get some of this knowledge. Today's lecture is about Freemasonry. And when we can get the lights low so we can see this presentation, we can get the lights low. So also, I want to always give a shout out to my boy Sanetta. Because Sanetta was the first brother that put me in front of a camera and gave me the opportunity to express to the world what the Spirit of God was given to me. Real quick, just a little bit about myself. What's happening here? Okay. Let's see that. Batteries are still good.
The microphone acting up?
No. All right, I'm here. Okay, here we go. All right, that's coming in clear. Okay, Natural Tahuti is my name, right? What's happening?
Yep.
Yeah, one more time. What is happening? Oh.
I'm gonna get it right in a second. There we go. Oh, there we go. I did this 1,000 times. Okay, Natural Tahuti is my name, aka the son of Sekhmet, right? Something is happening here. What's this? Oh,
Cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe. Okay, so Natural Tahuti, the son of Sekhmet. And actually, the son of Sekhmet, that name right there came to me in my vision and in my quest to talk about the Great Mother, because Sekhmet we know is a war deity. Not only is she known as the Great Destroyer in ancient Kemet, and she goes further than Kemet. She came out of Kush, and she goes back so far they don't even actually know the origin of Sekhmet. But they do know they can trace her back to ancient Kush and Nubia and so forth and so on. A lot of people think that Kemet is the actual beginning of African history, and that's not so true. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we just stop right there at Kemet. We forget that Africa is a big, vast place. Not only Africa is a big, vast place, the whole entire planet is a vast place. And when you look around the world, you will find the African's presence. You will find the original black man, woman, and child everywhere on the face of this planet. You see? So Sekhmet is a name that came to me because when I first started talking about the woman as God, I knew that I was going to get a lot of a lot of hate and stuff like that, and I knew I had to be revolutionary. You know, so I conjured up the energy of Sekhmet, and I accepted her as my mother, you know. And so, but not only is Sekhmet a war deity, she is a protector, and she is the most loving and kindest of deities that there is. She is the Great Mother. Understand that all of the gods had a mother. No one gets here without a mother. And this is why we say the woman is God. We say the woman is God because she is the first cosmological, biological manifestation of the divine. Right? The divine is that consciousness that permeates the entire universe. The divine is that black darkness that permeates the entire universe. Okay? And so the black woman is the first cosmological, biological manifestation on the planet. Okay? They go, warrior queen in the place to be. Peace, queen. Okay, so son of Sekhmet is the energy that I had to come in because y'all know, you just Google my name, those that don't know me, and you'll see that there's a lot of hate stuff out there on me. It's funny to me now. I just really laugh at it. In the beginning, you know, it used to make me angry and stuff like that, but after a while, you know, you start to mature in this process. Because when you get knowledge of self, knowledge is supposed to transform your mind. If you're not doing no transformation, you need to really start taking a look at that. Because a lot of us are very physical, and it's okay. It's okay. But you got to understand that if we are exerting this energy physically, and my brother, the martial artist, I know he knows this, that energy has to come from somewhere. It don't start with your physical. It starts in your spirit. It starts in your spirit, and then it enters into your mind. Right? It starts to formulate the structure of it. Right? Formulates in your mind. That's why they call it instructions. The structure of your mind, the wisdom has to in-structure your mind. So structure begins to take form in your mind, and then you start manifesting it on a physical plane. You see? But if we are just manifesting energy on a physical plane and we are not properly structuring it, then this is energy that is wasted because we become very low function. We become anger, jealousy, hatred, and all of these other manifestations that are not of the true self. The true self is a body of love. Okay? The only thing that exists in this universe is love. And all of the other things that are coming after love is the ignorance of your divine self. When you are not informed of your divine self, when you're not in tune with your divine self, anger, jealousy, hatred, lust, and all of these other things begin to manifest, because they manifest as dis-ease. There is a dis-ease inside the spirit and the mind. So today's lecture is hitting messages in Freemasonry, and moving right along with this lecture, okay, we're going to talk about Freemasonry. And the reason why I want to talk about Freemasonry, now my Freemasonry, first of all, let me make a disclaimer. I am not a Freemason, nor have I ever been initiated into any secret organization. I've been in a lodge, but I am not a lodge member. What I'm going to present today is totally from my observation of Freemasonry. Something that is supposedly an all-male craft. Something that is supposedly an all-male craft somehow has an awful lot of goddess symbolism. What I'm going to show you today is that the Freemasons secretly worship the Great Mother. Okay? And so even in the name Freemason, we see in the word, I know Ashraf Crazy, he did a beautiful piece on the origin of Freemasonry. I'm not going to do that today. My Freemasonry lecture has nothing to do with the origin of it. It's just my observation that what I have observed about their symbols, about their language, about their behavior, is that they secretly worship the Great Mother. And most of them don't even know, especially nowadays, that they're worshiping the Great Mother. Because Freemasonry has been infiltrated in 1,000 different ways, and in maybe some cases, in the very origin of maybe those brothers protected the symbols of the Great Mother because of that war that took place on the planet between patriarchy and matriarchy. This is real. It's not, I didn't make it up. I'm not trying to capitalize off of, like they say, low self-esteem women. There are men low self-esteem too. What a hell of a statement. You know what I mean? Like everything that they say about women, you can say the damn same thing about men. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that they say about black women, you can say the damn same thing about black men. You know, oh, is he dressed this sexy? Well, these Negroes is walking with their pants off their butt. Sexy, huh? Somebody's looking at them, huh? Might not be women, but it's sure not, might be some men, huh? Come on, let's get real. So, Freemasonry is a part of a long tradition of Western mysticism, and it is steeped in a long-standing of eclectic mixture of historical fact and legend. Much of the ritual and symbolism prevalent in Freemasonry has developed over many centuries and relies heavily on notions inherited from the customs and practices of stonemasons of medieval times, but even further than medieval times, because they got it from our ancestors during ancient times. Those great stone builders that built pyramids and temples of the Great Mother, so forth and so on. Not just in Egypt. Mound builders, okay, right here in America. They were building mounds. They were masons too. You understand what I'm saying to you? And you can look Easter Island, anywhere that they were building. In Britain, the Celts and all of that. Everywhere around the planet, we had this sister brotherhood that was going on. So not just Egypt. We look at Egypt and we start there because it's the most visual. It's the most visual, and because technology in that particular geological location had developed very highly. You understand what I'm saying to you? But it's the epitome of our social and cultural development, but it is not the total of our social and cultural and historical development. Just because they built great pyramids in Egypt and they built mounds out of the earth in America does not make the Egyptians better than those Mesoamericans that were here in America. Or our great African ancestors that was in Western Africa. All of them are great in their own right. And we should begin to start looking at the historical documentations of all of our ancestors and not leave one of them out. Okay. So, Freemasons had, where we at? Okay. Its members are still taught its precepts using a series of ritual dramas which follow ancient forms and uses tools and customs as allegorical guides. Just like this brother just eloquently showed us that martial arts, a form of Freemasonry, developed their style of fighting and their mystery teachings from the development of agricultural tools. And you must know that agriculture was developed by the women. It was the women who developed the agriculture because men were concerned with hunting, going out, and doing other things. And anybody's a hunter. Anybody's a hunter? Everybody ever hunt in here? You know when you hunt, you got to be very quiet. Is that true? Sometimes you sit for long times in silence. Maybe that's where Freemasonry gets that silent thing from, right? Because you have to be silent when you're hunting. So we know that men were not developing language, ritual songs and stuff like that. That was something that the women did, sitting around in the village, speaking spiritual songs and hymns to the great mother, the great father, and developing agriculture. And it would be natural. I need some water too, because my voice is cracking already. It would be natural that the woman would be concerned with agriculture. Why? Us men got nipples. We know why we don't know why we got ours, but we know why the woman has hers, because she is concerned with giving you sustenance. So it's a natural instinct, like the brother just eloquently spoke. Some of these things are instinctual. Feeding a child is instinctual. And so agriculture was an instinctual thing for the woman to do. So we have to give her props. Okay, let's move right along. Okay, as far as this, oh, let me see what's happening here. There we go. This computer is a bad thing, right? I just got this Apple, so I've been experimenting with it. As far as its rituals are concerned, modern Freemasonry has certainly been influenced by ancient Egyptian beliefs. Kemet, for those that know. Though there is no hard historical evidence to support this, according to the mythology, the foundations of the Masonic Brotherhood date back to the origin of architecture itself. Okay? Hence, so it is argued there must be a link between Masonry and the pyramids, the oldest examples of monumental architecture to survive. Okay. Some scholars believe that the spiritual doctrines embodied within Masonic ritual are extremely ancient, influenced by the teachings of many faiths and philosophies since time immemorial. Foremost among those influences was the religion of ancient Egypt, Kemet, as if you will. The oldest written records of which survived in the so-called pyramid texts, the hieroglyphs or the metal inscriptions on these pyramids in the vicinity of Saqqara. Okay. The text revolve around the notion of the circle of existence, or the circle of existence, which the Kemites themselves believed was represented by progress through the various chambers in the Great Pyramid. The ideal of a ritual journey was later to appear in the ancient Greek and other cultures. The great architect Daedalus, the supposed inventor of the axe, the awl, and the bevel, designed and built the great labyrinth of Knossos in Crete, which is, I didn't put the photograph up there, but that was it's a maze. You can go and check that out yourself. It was a maze. In Crete, the world's first maze, the similarities between such rituals and Masonic rites are evident. The ceremonies in modern speculative Freemasonry include the symbolic elements of the circle of existence. Okay? And our ancestors used the circle to represent life. They usually had a circle with a dot in the middle of it. The circle represents 360